This is exercise 14, hand coloring. I have promised to show you in the past how to properly turn a color image into black and white, so we're going to do that first. And we're going to go over here and a new adjustment layer, and we're going to select black and white. And I'll turn this little dude off. And we get this little dialog box going here where we can adjust things. And of course, there's a nice little patch of blue up here. And I can raise the blues up. I'm going to knock the magentas down. There's not a whole lot here. Everything else we're pretty much going to do is going to affect down here. But the ability to adjust specific colors, and I want a little more contrast in the bottom here, that green part. And this should, yeah, there's quite a bit of yellow in that because it's a yellow green. And the green, of course, should be reasonably easy to adjust. And there's not a lot of cyan. This is well, I guess there is up there in the blue. Cyan's kind of a blue-green. So we've got this done, and we'll close this, and you can see we've got a new layer here, this adjustment layer. I'll turn it off, and we can see that we managed to restore some of the contrast in the black and white that was available in the color image. And now I'm going to add a layer, and I'm going to give it a color name because I'm going to work on this blue layer. And I picked this because it's simple and makes for a short video, but you'll probably end up with 5 or 6 or maybe even more colors when you do an image you've got. But it comes in really handy if you have named these layers. And I've got my brush tool already selected, and it's really big. And a little review: the bracket keys just to the left of the letter P. If I press the left bracket, it gets smaller, right bracket gets bigger. And to turn this blue, I'm going to go over here to the foreground color and change it to some kind of blue, maybe not quite that red of blue. We'll turn this spotlight off, and we'll just go with blue. And this, to get this right, will require some playing around with. I click and drag, and it paints all of this blue. And I'm too lazy to change the feather amount of this brush down to not a whole lot. So I'm just going to do this anyway, and it looks like I've ruined it. But if you'll notice here on the right, the opacity slider on this particular layer, and I can do the drop down, but I also find it a lot easier if you'll notice a double arrow or two-directional arrow line has appeared over opacity. I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag this over, and it's there. I like that. Okay, so we'll turn the little spotlight off here, and we'll change this foreground color to green. And I don't think it needs to be a really bright green. And we'll make this a little smaller because it too is gonna guess what I forgot to do? I'm gonna undo that and make a green layer. It's real easy, at least it is for me, to forget that. Because I might want a little different transparency setting, and I could tell that's what gave me the clue that I had forgotten to do that. So I'm going to paint over here. Now we're covering it up. And I get to adjust this to the way I would like it as well. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so I've hand colored an image. Save this as E14, and we'll go on to E15.